We love our dogs, right? I mean, they're family. We build these amazing, deep connections with them. But what if, and this is a big what if we're accidentally sending them the wrong signals, even when we have the best intentions? Well, that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to look at some common ways we might be unintentionally hurting our dog's feelings, and more importantly, how we can make that connection even stronger. Okay, let's dive in. So, first things first, we got to get on the same page about something really fundamental. Our dogs aren't just these simple, happy go lucky creatures. Their emotional world is just as rich and complicated as ours. They feel joy, for sure, but they also feel real, genuine fear, anxiety, and frustration. And honestly, really getting that is the key to everything else we're about to talk about. And that leads us to the big question, doesn't it? We love them, we try our absolute best, but could we be misreading their cues? Or maybe reacting in ways that actually make a tough situation even worse for them? That's our goal here, to learn how to decode their signals so we can adjust our own behavior and build an even better, more trusting relationship. All right, let's kick things off with a big one: fear. It could be thunder, fireworks, that dreaded vacuum cleaner. Whatever it is, seeing our dogs terrified is just awful. But how we respond in that exact moment is so critical. We can either become their safe space, their rock, or, unfortunately, we can become just another part of the scary situation. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because some of our old instincts can be totally backward. That old way of thinking might be to scold a dog for growling or barking out of fear, thinking you're correcting bad behavior. But, everything we're learning now tells us the solution is the complete opposite. It's not about punishment, it's about comfort and support. So, why is punishing a scared dog so bad? Well, think about it. It literally just pours gasoline on the fire. It doesn't teach them not to be afraid. It teaches them that the scary thing, the thunder, the vacuum, also makes their human, their most trusted person in the world, angry and unpredictable. This just cranks up their anxiety, and worst of all, it completely shatters that precious bond of trust you have. So, your job is to be their rock. Instead of punishing them, create a safe haven. Let them hide under the table if they need to. Offer some gentle pets, speak in a calm voice, just be their source of comfort. And remember, for really extreme cases, it's always okay to get professional help from a vet or a behaviorist. Your support is what's going to build their confidence back up. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about how this whole trust versus fear thing plays out in training. The way we teach our dogs, it really says everything about our relationship. Are we being a drill sergeant, or are we being a patient, understanding teacher? The methods we pick really communicate a lot. Ah, yes, the classic potty training mistake. This is that piece of old school advice that we now know is just, well, it's incredibly harmful. A dog's brain just can't connect your anger with an accident that happened 5 minutes ago, let alone an hour ago. So what works? The complete opposite. Catch them doing it right and just go nuts with praise and treats. Make it a party. And this is exactly why that old method is such a disaster. It doesn't teach them where they're supposed to go. It just teaches them that going to the bathroom in front of you is a very, very dangerous thing to do. So what's the result? They start sneaking off to have accidents in places you can't see. It doesn't create understanding, it just creates fear. Speaking of training tools, let's talk about the crate. A crate can be a wonderful, amazing thing for a dog. It can be their own personal den, their safe space. But the second we use it as a timeout spot or for punishment, we've totally poisoned it for them. Right. So the whole point is to make that crate feel like the best spot in the entire house. It needs to be loaded with good stuff, special treats they only get in there, their favorite chew toys, a comfy bed. It needs to be a place they want to go, a place they choose to hang out in, not a place they're sent to when they're in trouble. All right, number 3 on our list, and this one might surprise you: routine. Now, this doesn't seem as obvious as punishment, but for a dog, predictability is everything. It's a form of love. They're basically little detectives, always looking for patterns. So when they know what to expect from their day, they can finally relax and feel secure. So where does this all go wrong? Mixed signals. Think about it. One minute they're on the couch getting cuddles, the next they're getting yelled at for the exact same thing. For a dog, that's incredibly confusing and stressful. They can't figure out the rules, so their world just feels random and uncertain. This is why it is so important that everybody in the house is on the same team. Having clear, consistent rules that the whole family sticks to is honestly one of the best gifts you can give your dog. It creates that security they crave and makes it so much easier for them to figure out what you want and, to be a good dog. And of course, a huge part of that routine is just you being there. Dogs are social animals, down to their DNA. Ignoring them isn't a neutral act, it's actively hurtful. So even on the busiest days, carving out that predictable quality time, a walk, a 5-minute game of tug, even a puzzle toy, is absolutely essential to their happiness. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and tie all these threads together. All of this, how we handle fear, how we train with patience, how we give them a consistent routine, it's not just about managing behavior. All these things are the bricks and mortar of a really incredible, deep relationship with our dogs. There's actually a term for this, an emphatic bond. And it's not just about love, right? It's about this deep, mutual trust that's built on a real effort to understand each other. This is the goal. This is what we're building every time we choose comfort over fear, patience over frustration, and consistency over chaos. Honestly, if there's only one thing you remember from all of this, please let it be this. So much of our frustration with our dogs just melts away when we remember they don't see the world the same way we do. The moment you start trying to see the world through their eyes, man, everything changes for the better. And that really brings me to one last question for you. Thinking about your dog and your life together, what's just one small shift you can make, starting today? Maybe it's making their crate a happier place, or just putting your phone down for 10 solid minutes of playtime. Because every single one of those little changes, it just makes that bond stronger. Thanks for listening.